This is Dr. Gigi Sabat, and you're listening to the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Erika. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Gigi.
Such an honor to have you here today. Now, can you start by telling us a little bit more about you and where are you from?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm from Ormond Beach, Florida. Born and raised in the Daytona Beach area. Enjoy living here. And currently work as employment litigation counsel at Brown & Brown in Daytona Beach.
I love it. And what inspired you to do the work that you do?
Well, I've always had an interest in helping people, and I always had an interest in government as well. And so I went to undergrad, majored in government and history, and decided that going to law school is the next step for me. So graduated from Florida State University College of Law with my Juris Doctorate, and have worked in several different areas. But now I'm doing employment litigation and enjoying working for a great company.
I love it. Tell us a little bit more about your experience for the company that you work for currently.
Sure. Well, I've been with Brown & Brown for about 5 years. It'll be 5 years in December. And started out working in the compliance and regulatory space, touching on data privacy as well. Previously had worked for a finance company in the compliance space. And about 2 years ago, my supervisors approached me and said they had a need in their employment litigation team. And I decided to make the move to employment law, which was new for me at the time, but it's been a learning experience and a great one. And I always seek out a learning opportunity. So it's been awesome to have that additional training and different aspect of law under my belt as well. So
wow. Absolutely incredible. And you and I have common ground in that we have a lot of similarities as far as some of the roles or even background. I mean, as far as the law goes, and also insurance, the financial realm as well, knowledge there. I mean, it's phenomenal. And I'm just grateful that we crossed paths. I believe we have a mutual friend, and that's Kellis, right? Kellis Patel, beautiful soul. Wow, just grateful for our friendship, and I'm grateful that you and I met as well.
I'm grateful as well. I'm glad we made that connection, and we do have a lot in common, which is great.
Yes, small world. And now you recently wrote a book.
I did.
Yes, you did. Have it right here in front of me. And it's called Scholarship Hacks, Insider Tips for Winning College Money. Here it is right here. Tell us a little bit more.
Sure, absolutely. Well, the book was published in April. It's available on Amazon. And a little bit about my background and how I came to write the book. So I graduated from Seabreeze High School in Daytona Beach and applied for scholarships while I was a junior and a senior in high school. Obviously needed some extra funding to go to college. And so I applied to probably, over 50 different scholarships. I received about 25. And with the scholarships and the financial aid that I received, it was about $250,000, which is amazing because I don't know any other typical teenage job that a senior would have that would produce $250,000 roughly. But with that funding, I was able to essentially fund my undergraduate education at Georgetown University, essentially free of charge, no student loans, no rigorous work study programs. So I'm truly blessed and grateful for that opportunity. So used those tips and tricks to receive scholarships myself. And then after I graduated from law school, got involved in several civic and fraternal organizations and served on several scholarship committees, chaired several. And through that time, one of which I served on for about 13 years. And during that time, we would receive applications from local students, judge those applications. We would give a local scholarship, and then we would also send our top applicants on to the next level of judging, which when they made it all the way to the national level, they would receive a sum of money. Sometimes it could be $4,000, $16,000. And so I've seen a lot of things as a judge over the years, things that students do well with their applications and making it stand out. And I've also seen some of the common pitfalls that students make when they apply, such as maybe not capitalizing their name when they submit the application, leaving sections blank, things like that. So I have 3 siblings and several nieces and nephews, and they would always come to me, cousins too, would come to me with questions about scholarships and where do we start? What do we do? They knew my background as a scholarship judge and a recipient. And one day I was approached and asked, maybe you should just write a book about all of your ideas and your thoughts. So this process took more than a year. I started thinking about it, jotting down, my ideas and thoughts about scholarships based on what I knew. And lo and behold, it came out as a 140 plus page book. And I didn't realize that I had that many ideas. But essentially, I wrote the book to help students and parents navigate through the scholarship application process from start to finish, from I want to apply for a scholarship and I don't know where to look, to I was able to receive a scholarship, now what do I do? Touches on all of the aspects of a scholarship application that you might ask. So it's got information about leadership, extracurricular activities, essay, which is usually a component of every scholarship application, class rank, GPA, things of that nature, and in kind of guide students in what they should be doing as they're going through high school to hopefully set them up for scholarship success.
I love it. Very powerful, and I highly recommend reading this book. Again, that's Scholarship Hacks, Insider Tips for Winning College Money. I have read the book. It's a very powerful book. Thank you so much, Erika. Now, you mentioned leadership. What does leadership mean to you?
To me, leadership is extremely important, not just in the scholarship aspect or that process, but also in college and beyond. And I really strongly believe that students should get involved in something that they're passionate about. Doesn't really matter what it is or what organization it is, and take charge of that organization and see what they can do and what they can contribute. Because I think not only does it give the individual meaning and a sense of purpose, but also makes a difference in the community. And one person can make a difference. It doesn't matter what they're doing, what can they contribute and how can they help their community. And especially, I think it's more meaningful when you do something that you're passionate about. And so for me, for example, as in serving on these scholarship committees, obviously you can probably tell I'm passionate about scholarships.
Yes, very passionate.
And so when I got involved, I wanted to do something to give back to the community that had given me so much, and some of those organizations that I've been helping are those that have helped me with scholarships in the past. So in a roundabout way, I was a recipient of a scholarship, and now I'm turning around and I'm giving that back to students in the community, which gives me mental wages, and I truly enjoy doing it, and I enjoy helping the next generation as well. But leadership as overall has a significant impact, and I think, like I said, not only does it give someone a sense of purpose, it also gives you a sense of community, because if you're involved, like whether it's an organization or maybe it's a community service opportunity, you're meeting like-minded individuals that want to contribute in the same way that you do. And so I've made some of my greatest friends in leadership positions in different organizations.
I love it. And I love how you said balance. I believe balance is truly important. So you're basically saying, yes, you can be in school, but also you can have a leadership role. Just have that balance. Very powerful. And now let's talk about the application. What if someone has started on the application, but they have now given up as far as the financial component goes when it comes to college?
Sure, absolutely. And when you say financial component, you're talking about the application itself or somebody that doesn't think they're qualified based on finances?
Both.
Okay, so a lot of times, there are lots of different scholarships out there. So some will have a financial component and some don't. Obviously, the word scholarship has the word scholar in it. So you're looking for your heaviest weight in an application in general is going to be on academics, because they want students that are that excel academically, but also I would consider a well-rounded individual, and that's where the leadership and the extracurriculars come in. But a lot of scholarships also have a financial component, and it's need-based. So somebody that's a well-rounded student, but actually really needs the funding. And many of the scholarships that I've worked on, that I judged, have a financial component, and that component will ask for income information, your FAFSA information, so your free application for federal student aid, which I would encourage anyone who is thinking about applying for scholarships to complete that FAFSA as early as possible.
Great advice.
And it's basically going to generate a number. It's all pretty mathematical, at least the scholarships that I've looked at, based on what the income is. So it may be based on parental income, it may be based on individual income, that's going to be based on the individual scholarship. So whatever they're asking for, if you're from maybe a single parent household, you include the single parent income, unless it's going to ask you for both parents' income, then you put both on there. But I think in that sense, the student is going to need some assistance in completing that information. They may need tax returns from a parent or guardian. So I always say start early and gather all the information that you need. you should have been looking at the scholarship application and making a list of all of those items and the deadlines that you need ahead of time so that you can obtain the necessary transcripts, letters of recommendation, the items that are going to take a longer time to obtain, you're not going to be able to get overnight. So I would encourage students not to fail to complete an application just because it has a financial component to it. If there is some extenuating circumstances as to why they don't have the financial information or they need to explain, there's usually a section, whether it's an essay or something else, that a student can explain their circumstances. And I would not be discouraged. If I was somebody that was applying, I would apply anyway, even if I didn't have that information, but I would try to give as much information as possible. A lot of scholarship applications now are automated because they can be completed online. It can be fillable PDF, maybe they're emailed. And so those computer systems with now the onset of AI may have an effect on, scanning through responses if it's blank. I mean, I don't know how that may be judged, depends on the specific scholarship. But I think having all the information compiled ahead of time, if you can, would be essential for that. Explaining your situation, if you have extenuating circumstances, explain that, because a scholarship judge is interested in knowing more about the individual applicant, not just what they see on their resume. And so the essay portions, the financial aid portion, is going to assist the scholarship judge in getting to know the person a little better than just what's on a resume.
Incredible and great advice. Start early, very powerful. Now, what gives you the most joy, Erika?
Me? Obviously you can't tell. It's essentially helping people, and that's really why I wrote the book. But I just enjoy participating in the community and mostly helping students with the scholarship process. Seeing as I'm not in school right now and I'm not applying for scholarships myself, I consider myself to be somewhat of a scholarship coach, if you will, helping the students in the local community to obtain needed funding. One of the organizations that I have spent a lot of time with in the scholarship realm, a few years ago, local students were able to receive $38,500 locally. And it really gives me great joy to know that the funding went to people that I actually had the opportunity to meet, because we would always present the scholarships to the schools. We would invite students and their families to a scholarship dinner. So I actually had the opportunity to meet the individual students that were funding their educations. And that really meant the world to me, to be to be able to put a face to a name. There's a lot of scholarships, a lot of students will think this is just a check. And I want them to know that the scholarships are more than just a check. We're investing in somebody's future. And so that really gives me a great joy to have that opportunity to do that on all the scholarship committees that I serve on, and to know that funding is helping students locally.
I love it. And you mentioned the book, and again, and I open it up here, and it up on this page, it says, "For my father, Jack, and in loving memory of my mother, Rita." My condolences, yeah, and this is very powerful. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, again, very powerful book. You're welcome. Now, what is your best advice to the audience for walking the purpose and living a life of happiness?
I truly believe that you should find your own happiness. It's different. People can't find happiness in other people. People change. Things happen in life, and you really have to seek your own happiness, to do what makes you happy. Do things that give you value and purpose. For me, that's helping with scholarships, for example, and maybe other leadership in my community. Maybe it's feeding the homeless. Maybe it's volunteering at your local animal shelter. Whatever helps you to give you purpose and mental wages, I think in turn helps you find that internal happiness.
Wow. Incredible. Thank you so much, Erika. Now, do you have any last words for the audience?
Well, I want to wish you good luck on your scholarship search. If you're a student or a parent trying to navigate the process, there are funds out there if you know where to look. And don't be discouraged, don't be stressed. Just look at all the opportunities that are out there. And if you put forward the effort, I think you will find those scholarship funds that are out there. Organizations want to award free money, and please feel free to follow Scholarship Hacks on social media. I post tips weekly, so if I can help in any way, I'm more than happy to.
I love it. Very powerful. And Erika, thank you so much for being a guest on the Welcoming Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I greatly enjoyed it.
Yeah, likewise. Now, where can the audience find you?
Well, the book's on Amazon.com at the moment. Also available locally in the Ormond Beach area at Novelty Bookshop. In addition to that, we're found on social media. It's Scholarship Hacks on Facebook, Scholar Hacks on X or the former Twitter, and Scholarship Hacks Book on TikTok and Instagram.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Erika on all of our social media platforms. And also make sure to grab your copy. Again, it's Scholarship Hacks, Insider Tips for Winning College Money. Grab your copy. And Erika, thank you again so much. God bless.
Thank you so much for having me.